Have you seen that movie, Woody? It's Seven, with the dildo strap on and all.
I have seen Seven. That's the one where at the end there's a head in a box.
Yes, for
In a
anyone
way, people who
who's
haven't
never
seen
seen
it.
it
I
before,
haven't seen it. Well, there
that
you
is
go.
the gigantic, such a
It's like a
gigantic.
1999 movie.
I've ruined
Okay,
that in
fine.
fewer words.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
favorite-
Next I'm giving
favorite
away the
tweet of
end to
mine-
Gone with the Wind.
What's in the box?
My favorite tweet of mine ever was a very cruel thing to do, but I figured I'd left. I don't know what you guys think about spoilers, like what your policy for spoilers is, but I felt that by Christmas Day, anyone who really cared about Star Wars ought to have seen it by now. So I just tweeted in capitals, Han Solo dies, Merry Christmas. It's
How many unfollows did you get?
like 400. I went back. I went like down a whole 1,000 on the website.
Someone sent me that spoiler. He had seen it on opening night, and I literally saw the movie when it was like 36 hours old, and it was spoiled for me. Yeah, that was kind of a dick move.
That's funny, but that is such a spiteful, mean-spirited thing to do, just to ruin their ability to see it. Just pissed away.
I just think it was like 10 days after the movie came out. If you really cared about it that much, you would have abandoned your family and gone to see Star Wars. Like if you don't have that kind of investment in it, then I'm sorry, but like, I don't know what to say to you. I don't know what to do for you.
I'll sign off on that. I mean, 10 days. 10 days is enough. I feel like I watched it like after the second
Don't
day.
spoilers just mean like before it comes out? Like you don't want a spoiler like before the movie hits theaters, but once it's hit theaters, it's open season, isn't it? I mean, like, and I didn't even do that. I waited like 10 days, like, and that movie made so much money in the first week. I was like, come on, everybody who wanted to see it must have seen it by now, but apparently not. People were very upset.
400 people.
I've seen it twice.
It was just all caps. Han Solo dies, Merry Christmas. And people got so mad about it.
Oh, yeah. I could see that.
Yeah, I'm not. I can't co-sign on that one. I don't like it.
So I don't know if you follow the Howard Stern show, but I think these two a little bit. Does anyone here know who Riley Martin is? He was a whack packer on the Howard Stern show. He's this black guy who believes he was abducted by aliens. And he speaks like this. Yeah, that guy died over the holiday, I guess. So they're down another whack packer, and they were having this interesting discussion about how they're running out of whack packers.
Yeah, move over, lumberjack. There is a new most dangerous possession.
And they had a little bit of a discussion about why they're running out of whack packers. Because Eric the midget, he died 2 years ago, and then
No, not Eric the midget.
yeah.
Eric,
Little Eric.
you know what to do.
This little guy, like all right, so he's a midget, he's in a wheelchair,
And he talks like this.
and he's like a huge American Idol fan. So he loved like Deanna DeGarmo, I think her name is. She won one year, and so like they arranged for him to meet her. They have her come into the studio, but before they'll let him meet her, he has to agree to be measured for a Real Doll sex doll. And they have the representatives from Real Doll there in the studio. And he's like, now, Eric, we can get Diana DeGarmo in here right now if you'll agree to get measured. And he's like,
Okay.
so they measured and made a sex doll. But anyway, the whack packers have been dying off.
Wait,
and
don't gloss over that. They made a sex doll of Eric the midget so people could fuck Eric the midget.
I know they measured him for it. I don't recall if it ever went into production, but that was the intention, and it was for a long time.
I want it from my room just to fuck with people.
It's horrifying at several thousand.
Maybe like a macabre Halloween decoration. If not,
I want it to fall out of a cupboard mid-sex and for it to like totally this game, and just be like, "What the hell is that?" It's like,
that's
oh,
careful.
I'm
That could
sorry,
startle
I
the
just-
black guy with the gun.
Yeah, I mean, he might be like shooting holes in my sex doll.
But they pointed out the reason for this is that nowadays there's a lot of early detection for these syndromes and various maladies that create a good whack packer. There just aren't as many retarded people being born anymore because they're all being aborted. And I think this is a big problem. And I'm starting to reverse my stance on abortion because of this. I feel like...
Because you want more whack packers.
Yeah, in another generation, there'll be no one to mock anymore. There'll be no one to laugh at. What are we going to do? This is a real problem. I'm starting to reconsider this whole abortion thing.
So you're going pro-life.
I might have to go.
Retarded people.
So I'm for abortion in situations where there's rape, there's incest, or you just don't have time to deal with that whole baby thing. But if there's something wrong with the kid,
Stop it.
if there's just something wrong with the kid, that's not good enough. You should have to bring that one into the world just so the rest of us can have that in our lives. Because I just don't know if I'm going to be able to. Stern signed for 5 more years, and if he doesn't get somebody to replace these people, he's just going to be out of them. He's only got so many left.
There's
He's
a lot
gonna-
of
he's gonna
handicapped
be in
people
trouble
out there.
soon.
He'll find someone.
People are getting
Yeah,
very
but
boring, aren't they?
It's not just handicapness. There's many. There's a plethora of things that go into being a good whack packer. You got to have some kind of physical malady. It helps if you're extremely slow. If you've got an odd voice, like high pitched Eric, he's a 430-pound. Look up high pitched Eric really quick. He's a 430-pound buffoon of a human being living completely on government care. They took his IQ once. I think he's somewhere around 85, somewhere in there, 80, 85.
Sort of in the feminist range.
Yeah,
A
absolutely.
little high. Yeah.
And his voice comes out incredibly high pitched due to no physical malady, just because he's touched and
Because he's a retarded person.
He's
Yeah,
retarded.
and you laugh at him on the radio.
What do you guys call it? Dark-sided? He's like dark-sided.
I haven't
know
heard
this?
Dark-sided.
that term.
Evan Turner.
Oh, it's a religious. There's a very famous clip on YouTube of an American reality show. I think it might be Wife Swap. It's like the ultimate wife swap episode where she comes back from the family and she's like, "I ain't going back there. They're dark-sided."
Yes,
yes,
you are devils.
She's like really religious, but like crazy religious, like Westboro Baptist kind of like.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great one. Yeah, that is the best one.
And she's like, "I ain't going back there. They're dark-sided." You know?
She's screaming it like he can when the way he said it sounded okay. Well, I guess she doesn't like those people, but she's screaming this in a piercing, grating kind of accent.
No, she's great.
That's
I
a
love
great
her.
episode.
I love
Yeah,
her.
yeah. I wanted more. I wanted her to get her own show. Like I would watch a show all about her.
It would have been the best spin-off ever. That would have been fantastic. One of the things that annoys me about America is you take our shows and you make them so much better. I mean, like Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares. I'm a devotee of Gordon Ramsay, but the Kitchen Nightmares in the UK is kind of like slightly genteel and a little bit sort of sympathetic and mocking and a bit subtle and slightly sarcastic, and it'll sort of do these like sort of funny cuts to like people just going like a little bit funny and a little bit waspish, but not really like outrageous. The American one is like bam bam bam, crazy music like dum 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 dum. And it's like, what the fuck is going on? What are you doing? You can't serve this. You can't serve it. This lamb is raw.
There's an exception to that rule.
Yeah.
Top Gear.
Top Gear.
Yeah, the British
Top Gear
version.
sucked.
Oh
is
yeah,
so
you
much
can't beat the
better.
British version of Top Gear, but that's because it's such a quintessentially English show. And it's not a reality show. Reality shows are about crazy people being crazy, and they find their highest and most perfect expression in the United States.
I feel like Monty Python was way ahead of its time. Was amazing. I feel like it's on an equal playing field with Saturday Night Live. I know Woody doesn't because he doesn't like that kind of humor. The Ministry of Funny Walks just doesn't do it for him for some reason. I love that shit.
What a snob. Probably the funniest thing ever to have been committed to videotape.
It's
How
not
dare
even
you.
remotely funny. I just like I could sit there straight faced at all of the Monty Python stuff.
Even the dead parrot?
No one expects the Spanish Inquisition. Woody's like,
Yeah, oh my god,
I expected it.
It's like shitty Saturday Night Live, like the guy who he's a knight and you cut off like one arm after another. They're essentially just telling the same joke for like 15 minutes. That should
Well,
be
that's-
it.
Repetition is funny.
It's
Well,
not,
that's the Holy Grail. That's just a movie they made.
Yeah, that wasn't
okay.
from the sketch show.
Okay, I have to ask you guys something. And all my fans hate me for this, but I have a movie much loved by geeks, much loved by pretty much everybody that I get on with, much loved by pretty much everyone my age, and that movie is The Princess Bride. And I think it is the biggest sack of garbage that I have ever seen in my life.
You're wrong.
You're wrong.
Yeah, okay.
Rob Reiner is a genius. Billy Crystal stood out to an Oscar-worthy percent at. Okay, Carrie Yules is so charismatic, so witty, so funny. It's great. And I can't think of the woman's name, but now she's in House of Cards, and she's still fucking gorgeous. Is so pretty in that movie. It's stunning. I'm so attracted to her. Every word that comes out of her mouth, I'm just staring at her lips like I just want to fucking touch them. And the story is hilarious. Andre the Giant, and I think his only acting performance, so great. Domingo, you killed my father. Prepare to die. That's so good. I still remember that, and I watched it when I was a child. Fred Savage even is good in that movie as the little kid. Even the grandpa reading the story is great. You, sir, are wrong.
Well done, Kyle. Well,
I can't compete.
There it
with that.
is. Hey, now Milo is however many debates he's had less one.
Over Princess
His
Bride.
first loss.
I'm trying not to laugh at Billy Crystal.
I didn't laugh. I'm doing the same thing that Woody does with Monty Python. That was my experience with The Princess Bride. You know, I just sat there and I was like, this is garbage. Okay, well, we're gonna have to disagree on that one. I figured you as discerning men of taste and experience, I thought that I would throw that out to you guys. But you guys disagree with me too, so fine.
I'm afraid so.
Who
I
do you
love
like
that
for
movie.
American
It's not
President,
like it's
Milo?
a terrible movie, but it's not. It's just
we're-
every
To
time I've
me-
seen it,
to me it's
I
great.
feel like I'm consciously trying to like it more because I know everybody else likes it so much, and I feel like
But
I'm
I
missing
think
out.
I think the
But
Princess
it's real
Bride.
middle of the road for me.
Do you know maybe why I hate it? I think the Princess Bride is a bit like caviar. It's one of those things no one likes, but everyone says that feels like they have to say they do. And it's one of those things that it's become like a thing that you have to like because everybody does, and nobody actually really likes it. Nobody actually
tequila.
enjoys it. Like if I have
like
to hear
tequila.
if I have to see the word inconceivable like in a forum ever again, I will literally cut myself.
Inconceivable!
Yeah, like that. Just
saying this word. I do not think you know what it means.
because you were so hot until you started all this shit.
I do not think it means what you think it means.
Yeah, okay, good. Now you guys are arguing over the correct wording of the least funny and least interesting quote.